Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the controversy surrounding the boxing match between Imane Khelif and Angela Carini in the 2024 Olympics in Paris? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the incident, then offer my analysis. Imane Khelif was born in 1999 in a rural village in Algeria. When she was 16, she took an interest in boxing and started training. In 2018, she competed in the Women's World Championships, where she came in 17th. In the 2019 World Championships, she came in 19th. Imane represented Algeria at the Tokyo Olympics in 2020, where she was defeated in the quarterfinals. In 2022, Imane finished second at the Women's World Championships. In March 2023, as Imane was getting ready to compete for a gold medal at the World Championships in New Delhi, India, she was disqualified. In a sense, she was knocked out before she ever stepped into the ring. Imane, along with another boxer, Lin Yuting from Taiwan, failed a gender verification test administered by the International Boxing Association. Both boxers were found to have XY chromosomes, although the IBA did not reveal what test was used to generate this result. The IBA has rules preventing athletes with XY chromosomes from competing in women's sports. According to the IBA regulations, boxers can only compete against boxers of the same gender. A female is defined as an individual with the XX chromosome and a male as an individual with the XY chromosome. It's not clear why the test indicated that Imane had the XY chromosome. She does not identify as transgender. Some have suggested the result was based on differences of sexual development, which is also referred to as DSD. This is a group of rare conditions where a person's hormones, genes, and/or reproductive organs feature a mix of male and female characteristics. The sex characteristics do not fit into typical male or female categories. Some people affected by DSD prefer the term intersex. DSD can result in a higher level of testosterone, which can translate into a competitive advantage in athletic competitions. Now moving to the timeline of the incident. Despite having problems in the World Championships as far as gender eligibility, Imane Khelif qualified to compete in the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Eligibility for boxers in the Olympics is not managed by the IBA, rather by the International Olympic Committee. The IOC does not have any specific rule on intersex boxers or a rule on what testosterone level is acceptable for individuals to participate in women's boxing. On Thursday, August 1, 2024, Imane Khelif fought against an Italian opponent named Angela Carini. 46 seconds into the fight, Angela withdrew after being punched in the face. She yelled to her coach, "It's not fair, it's not fair," before dropping to her knees and crying. Angela refused to shake hands with her opponent. Later, Angela indicated that she ended the fight after feeling a severe pain in her nose. She had just experienced the hardest punch she had ever taken and stopped the fight to preserve her life. Angela was not trying to make a political statement. She told reporters, quote, "I am not in a position of saying this is right or wrong. I did my job as a boxer, entering the ring and fighting," unquote. The outcome of this boxing match ignited a firestorm of controversy around who is qualified to compete in women's boxing. Imane was targeted by accusations that she was a biological male, as if she was pretending to be a woman to beat up women. The IOC released a statement in an effort to clarify their position about eligibility, writing, quote, "All athletes participating in the boxing tournament of the Olympic Games Paris 2024 comply with the competition's eligibility and entry regulations," unquote. They also indicated that the gender and age of Olympic boxers are based on their passports. Referring specifically to Imane, the IOC spokesperson said, quote, "The Algerian boxer was born female, was registered female, lived her life as a female, boxed as a female, has a female passport. This is not a transgender case. There has been some confusion that somehow it's a man fighting a woman. This is just not the case. On that, there is consensus. Scientifically, this is not a man fighting a woman," unquote. Not everybody was convinced by the claims of the IOC, and concerns continued about the safety of women competing in combat sports. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. Officials representing the 2024 Olympics have indicated that there are no transgender athletes competing. There are 2 non-binary athletes, but they are competing against opponents with the same biological sex. Considering how officials admitted that they determine gender and age based on passports, it's not clear how they can be certain, but this is their position. Item number 2. The reaction to the fight between Imane and Angela has been swift and in some cases dramatic. As I mentioned, some people claim that Imane was a man pretending to be a woman, which does not appear to be the case. On the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, J.K. Rowling posted, quote, "We object because we saw a male punching a female," unquote. J.D. Vance posted on the same platform, writing, quote, "This is where Kamala Harris's ideas about gender lead, to a grown man pummeling a woman in a boxing match," unquote. On Truth Social, former President Donald Trump indicated he would keep men out of women's sports. At the rate things are going on the gender identity front, there probably will be a transgender woman fighting a biological woman at some point in the future. But this incident at the Olympics did not involve a transgender woman. This wasn't the test case for people interested in making a political point. It never ceases to amaze me how little research some public figures do before taking a strong position on these situations. It's one thing to say, well, this looks interesting. Let me check this out and make sure that nothing unfair happened here. It's something entirely different to start accusing a woman of being a man. Item number 3. In my opinion, it is reasonable to believe that Imane may have had some type of advantage based on a high level of testosterone, but I don't believe she is trying to exploit this to become some type of killing machine who targets women. This is not something that Imane could control. Some women simply have high levels of testosterone. Even though DSD is relatively rare, it makes sense that women with this condition would be overrepresented in combat sports, like boxing, because they would do well in these types of competitions. People tend to stay in a sport where they have repeated victories. If Imane was trying to cheat the system to conquer women's boxing, she is not doing a very good job. She has actually been defeated by female boxers several times in her career. Item number 4. Most people want Olympic sports to be fair and as safe as possible. Boxing is not a sport known for having an impeccable safety record, mostly because of the punching in the head part, but that doesn't mean it's fine for people to make it more dangerous. I think the underlying concern here is legitimate. There are fears that someone is going to get killed if individuals with pronounced male characteristics are allowed to punch women. Listening to the IOC officials, one would think that handling the gender identity issue in sports is insurmountable. It is so complex that they are calling on the world for solutions. Anybody with a good idea can come forward and help them. In reality, they don't want anyone's help. Rather, they simply don't want to be the ones to make a decision. Gender identity is complex, but tests could be administered to improve safety. For example, those that detect levels of testosterone. The real problem here is that nobody wants to be in the middle of a political firestorm. Nobody wants to take ownership of the issue. Ignoring the situation is going to lead to another problem for the IOC. Eventually, a female boxer is going to get hurt by someone who should not have been permitted in the ring. Furthermore, any female athlete with a dramatically higher than normal level of testosterone will have her victories questioned. No victory will ever be without controversy. They are harming these athletes as well, emotionally, not physically, but it is still harm. The problem is not going away. It's about fairness, and somebody must have the courage to step forward and say, we need to keep the athletes safe. Item number 5. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Imane is a woman with pronounced male characteristics, which may give her an advantage in boxing. Angela is a woman who does not possess this advantage. The fight was lopsided for this reason. I don't believe Angela was trying to make a political statement. She is a boxer. She was looking to win. She was also looking not to be killed, which is an important goal for all athletes. One could argue that it's one of the top goals that many of them maintain. During my career as a counselor educator, I have encountered many people who do not want to be killed. It's a fairly common feeling among human beings. This incident had nothing to do with the application of transgender ideology, and none of the athletes were at fault. This was about a failure of leadership on the part of the IOC, which placed both boxers on the canvas. Those are my thoughts on the boxing controversy at the 2024 Olympics. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comments section. They consistently generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.